Now, with Team Noob taking up the blue side as the bans are actually starting, it looks like it's going to be a Violet first banned away by Team Noob.
Yeah, and that's no big surprise, right? Violet's kind of all around hailed across all the different tiers of players as well as one of the strongest heroes. And the biggest part of that is, sure, there are other marksmen that are stronger in terms of numbers, but Violet has that utility to kind of weave around the whole battlefield, and you can't ignore that. Of course, Malik coming out on the side of JungleBookSquad, not a surprise either, because Malik, we've seen, kind of wrecks through team fights and almost sets the tone as one person for the entire team fight. So that's really important.
That's also a hero that Pitch plays very well in the side lane.
Yes.
So taking that away is extremely important. Going to be a Zenial ban as well. We've seen Zenial and Malik active over in Europe, obviously not active in North America quite yet. The Zenial, the global ultimate, and just the protection for his team that he provides is unparalleled.
Yeah, and as we see the L'Oreal ban come out from JungleBookSquad, I think with Team Noob, what they're going for here is really, let's get rid of all the common X factors, right? Let's get rid of the ones that really anyone can pick up in one moment, one team fight, one ability can change the whole game and change the whole team fight. We don't want to get into that situation. Wonder Woman, a little bit more, I guess, nuanced to how she's played, but also offers so much, right? There's a lot of protection, there's a lot of damage, and there's a lot of crowd control, and there's that decision-making, obviously, playstyle with the lasso. So I think that's a good choice for Team Noob.
We've actually, during our prep, we had a big conversation of why is Wonder Woman not getting banned? She's picked in every single game that she's available, but she hasn't been banned. But as you're right, she has such a balanced kit, and she brings so much utility with that lasso, as well as the ultimate providing a shield for her teammates. Really adds an extra level. And then, of course, finally, the Max ban, but there's another superhero that's not on that ban list, Chobra.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's quite a bit left over. But for me personally, so listen, as soon as I got into this game, Teamy just stood out to me, right? I once got to visit Shenzhen, China, and I got to see Red Pandas myself, and there's a hero based on him. Of course, there's Superman coming in, kind of overlooked by everyone. But the biggest thing for me, actually, that stood out is Max. Okay, so Max wasn't banned.
It was Nacroth, yeah.
Yeah, it was Nacroth. I'm a little actually worried. I was actually liking the Max ban from JungleBookSquad because that's a hero that's so reliant on team communication, right? Teamwork. And when you're going up against a team that has experience, that's a little tough for you, but JungleBookSquad taking it up for themselves.
I do actually like the option of keeping it open because Zenial, its hard counter, is off the table. And you're leaving so many power picks open. Obviously, Superman's going to be the pick. With them leaving Superman open, that means they have a strategy. The Teamy and the Max potentially could create the opening for that.
Yeah, I'm a little hesitant. I mean, Superman, we got the Murad potentially coming in as a jungle, obviously known just being really strong and has a lot of damage to the shell and also hard to capture during a team fight because of that invincibility. The thing that worries me about Superman is, yes, in theory, the crowd control can really stop all of his utility and damage. But, man, if you want to keep that up, you're focusing all your efforts on Superman. And then you got Liliana, you got Ryoma. That's a whole team of people that you want to focus down, right? 3 out of 5 that you need to focus fire by at least 3, if not 4 people, is going to be tough.
Yeah, and look, you've also got the Lumbar as well as the Zephyrus locked in. Lots of damage coming out of that Zephyrus, Ryoma, and Liliana. The crowd control and just support that you have from the Lumbar is very great. Obviously, you have the Murad locked in for JungleBookSquad, Chognar, and is that an Airy Hover? Is this going to be the fun? No, it's going to be a last-second Joker that they're pulling in. So, a well-rounded composition, but for me, again, leaving the Superman open, that means JungleBookSquad has to have some sort of strategy to counteract that.
The concern, right, is that newer teams, you're better off setting the tone yourself, right? You need to play your own game. Because if you play the metagame against the #1 seed, you're going to lose. They're #1 for a reason. And you're giving... Superman alone sets the pace of the fight, right? Superman goes in, Superman initiates, Superman moves around and pushes people around. You're now setting up to react to Superman and kind of take care of him first in a fight or find a way to ignore him. That you fail that once, and Team Noob's going to run away with the game.
Well, and considering what you have in the backline with the Liliana, as well as the Zephyrus, you know, dashing and lunging around, you've got a lot of high-priority targets, and so I really feel that JungleBookSquad is either going to have to get themselves ahead early or have some sort of jungle rotation or some sort of rotational strategy to counteract just the power picks that you have in the hands of Team Noob.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, right? The roams coming in early and throughout the game. And especially with Max being there, of course, you can continue that pressure throughout the mid and late game. And then Teamy, of course, early on can kind of go around and kind of wreck every single lane and create chaos and also start to win fights with that revive. So we'll see how it plays out.
We are, and we're going to see right now as we get ourselves into our first quarterfinal of the day. Game 1, it's going to be between Team Noob, formerly known as SK Gaming, taking on JungleBookSquad, led by that Mowgli. I'm ready to get this started.
Yeah, again, it's all about the early game for me coming out from JungleBookSquad. You know, even if they're not getting all the kills, they need to really set the pace there because, like we talked about, you get a couple items going on the side of Team Noob, and they can be one-man squads going through. And look at this.
That's exactly what you were wanting. Mowgli went ahead and used that flicker very early to get that damage onto the Superman. Now, remember, we have got ourselves just started. Now, there is only one punish on per team. We've seen teams potentially decide to go for themselves on that double punish. But look, here's this really early top invade coming out of Team Noob, taking this Might Golem.
And this is important, right? It's always important to keep, especially someone like Murad, in check. But look at this. JungleBookSquad going back in. They're playing aggressive. I like this from JungleBookSquad.
They're definitely making sure that they are very reactive to every piece of the jungle come in. First Blood's going to come in. Skull King picking up that kill onto Poseidon, and now it's nothing but a bloodbath.
Oh, Superman
joins himself back on the fray, but Max is able to get himself a good little kill. But here we go with Team Noob rebuttaling immediately. And again, another scuffle, but it did still end up being JungleBookSquad coming out 4-2 on the reply. 5-2.
And there we go. All right. So now they definitely came on top on the side of JungleBookSquad, and they just need to keep this. They need to play chaotic, right? You can't play by the rules when you know you're at a disadvantage in terms of experience and what you're going up against. And I like that they're reactionary. You can see the team communication coming in from JungleBookSquad as well, really converging on that roam into their red buff. So this should be a pretty good game. The thing is, does it hold up when the bigger objectives start to come up?
What I also like to see from JungleBookSquad is they've essentially done their research and watched the VODs, because that early, that about 50, 55-second jungle invade on the top side is what Team Noob really likes to do. Now Mowgli's going to get himself caught out, but Hardstuck is going to be there on the rotation. Look, here's Skull King. So, great communication by JungleBook. Every time that the members of Team Noob are trying to invade, there's 3, potentially 4 members of JungleBook on the reaction.
Yeah, and they're aware, right? They're aware of the timings. They know how to play like a top team. Like we talked about, this isn't their first rodeo, just at this stage, but we do have another fight going in, and whoever wins this should be able to take the Abyssal Dragon.
Hardstuck's going to get himself a nice little come over. Vex is going to go in. Seven's going to be able to pick up that kill onto Skull King. Oh, Skull King's barely actually going to survive. Mowgli, meanwhile, is taking up that kill, and this is the teamie that you were talking about in the select. The flicker's going to come down. Nice little, and the Lancelot Mowgli takes effect. Poseidon going to miss the skill shot. Not going to be enough, and the tower going to finish him off.
That hurts. And you know what I think we're seeing is already kind of Team Noob thinking that, listen, we know we're the better team. We just got to go in aggressive and play, but it's not working out for them. What I love is Mowgli knows that Teamy has a little bit of durability. Going in hard, going in strong, and even if you're separated, you know that if you're 1v2ing and getting a kill, you are doing your job for your team. So good job to Mowgli, and JungleBookSquad now up 9 kills to 4.
You've got Madeline on that max. He's got that ultimate available, so he's going to be able to create not only that global vision for his team, but can come hell. And, you know, you want to talk about Mowgli. 3-0-5, getting those tanky stats early into somebody that provides as much utility to just sit on the front line for your team, super important.
Yeah, and the Joker also already has 3 kills, 2 assists. And with that scaling coming in from the items and just the long-range damage and poke, and also a little bit of durability, of course, in the escapes, this is going to be big, and this allows JungleBookSquad to actually have a mid-game going for the Abyssal Dragon now.
First Abyssal Dragon, a very late Abyssal Dragon coming up on 3:45. Now the members of Team Noob are rotating themselves around. And you can see Superman, he's in flying mode, so this is where things get scary. He's going to push 2 members onto the side. Hardstuck will take the Abyssal Dragon, but what are they going to lose themselves in the process? Pitch takes down Mowgli. Hardstuck's going to be able to find himself a death as well, and so they got themselves Abyssal Dragon, but lose 3 in the process.
Yeah, I mean, you had to still go for it, but 3 deaths is a lot. That really just allows Team Noob to catch back up more or less. Yes, they're almost a K down in Team Gold, but with a team like Team Noob, they should be able to come back. Of course, Max at the top still doing his job and just being able to take that tower, not concerning about flying in late to a team fight.
Yeah, he recognized that if I show up at this team fight, probably not the best situation for me. So instead, we're going to create that cross-map pressure. It's going to allow him to take that turret. Now he's going to get himself hide in the bush for Ryoma, as the Superman as well is going to roam himself around. nothing too crazy on the side of Team Noob. Everybody fairly even in gold outside of that, you know, support position that you've got out of 0-9. And it's a solid effort by JungleBookSquad this early.
Yeah, again, you know, no matter how the result goes through for this game, I'm already impressed, and now they're catching Superman off guard coming in from the side.
He's going to have to be forced to get himself ran away, as now the members of JungleBookSquad are going to rotate themselves up. Mowgli doing that damage. Still 3-1 and 5. I mean, you can't hate on it. That's going to force the flicker out of Poseidon. That's a lot of damage. Mowgli is not scared. He's got Be a Bro available, so he can revive himself if he ends up going down. And I like this force of aggression coming out of JungleBookSquad.
Yeah, and Mowgli, of course, prioritizing that armor and cooldown early on, because really the only match damage he's really worried about is Liliana. We did see that damage come through, but this allows him to be a little bit more aggressive and a little more carefree during the team fights. Maybe do a 1-second dive under the tower, etc.
A little bit of pushing power is going to be added on Madeline as well, with the Mantle of Rock completed on the top side of the map. A little bit of a jungle pressure. Pitch is going to get himself Conan, but he's going to see 3 different members, forces the ultimate out of Lumbar. Going to be forced to walk away, and here we go. Madeline wants to come out of the backside as well. Oh, I don't think you want to do this, buddy. You've got way too many people. Poseidon, and that is going to be Max going in. Team is not there for the help.
Maybe we're starting to see the cracks come through a little bit. Communication not keeping up. Joker now potentially in a little trouble, getting blocked on the way back, but they're both not that healthy.
Oh, the power of Superman is just too wrong. Oxy going to be forced to walk away. Flying mode's going to get stopped, which means Superman is going to get grounded. He will end up dying in the process, but now Poseidon and Vex are on the chase. They want to join in. Oh, a nice little ult there by Vex to get the gap closed. Mowgli is going to be coming very low as well, but super tanky already on this teamie.
Yeah, and we see Murad trying to run back in, but still gets killed as well. JungleBookSquad starting to get, I think, a little antsy, right? They feel that the need to keep up the kills more than anything because they were so in the lead early on. Obviously, started with 5 kills to 2. So now it's all caught up, right? And in fact, they're behind in a little gold, and Team Noob about to take this next Abyssal Dragon.
And this is where we said things could potentially get scary for JungleBookSquad, because the power picks that are in Team Noob's hand just need themselves their first items. They just need to get themselves a little bit of scaling, get up to that level 8, level 9 mark, and that's exactly what happened. Is now Madeline's going to be forced to retreat. You've got a little invade coming in from Team Noob as well, but they're going to have to be careful because Poseidon is starting to ramp up on that Liliana.
Yeah, and this is where you start to see, again, what we talked about before we go into the game. At a certain point, we see the heroes on the side of Team Noob start to scale, especially with the items coming in, and JungleBookSquad no longer kind of has that advantage of durability and crowd control, so they have to react to kind of a pick or a misinitiate coming in from Team Noob, which they're not leaving anything to chance anymore.
And you're also going to start to see the scaling power come up of Poseidon. He's got that Orb of the Magi completed, so as time goes on, he will get himself a little bit stronger, a little bit extra AP and health to pop himself in and out of these fights. As we're just at the 7:45 mark. You've got Darkslayer on the menu if either one of these teams decide to order it. Superman's going to get himself a little bit of vision and just decide to walk away. His heart stuck now. Going to try to come in and get himself a little bit of damage, but that's going to have to be a forced retreat. Lumbar caught himself between a rock, a hard place, and a very scary situation, but he's going to have to be forced to run away. The heal being forced out there out of Skull King. As now it's just going to be a soft reset here for JungleBookSquad.
Yeah, but we do see that Superman damage starting to come in, right? Not too many items are obviously, you know, starting to build up, but Superman, again, is that classic warrior, can build more durability based with some additional damage, and that just starts to boost all of his abilities, and of course the movement around the teamfight is what's going to matter. The crowd control coming for Superman, if Superman is able to sit on Joker at the start of the fight, the game might as well be over from there for JungleBookSquad.
And you've got plenty of damage in the back, like coming out of Pitch, Vex, as well as Poseidon. The KDAs aren't as illustrious as what you might imagine, but the later that this game goes, the more that they're going to be able to catch themselves up in the items. You can see four members over that 4.5 gold mark. As now the Abyssal Dragon has spawned, and this is going to be Abyssal Dragon number 3 of the game. Team Noob looks like they're going to take this very easily. Vex and Pitch absolutely demolishing that within 30 seconds of it being up.
Yeah, again, the rotations are coming in from Team Noob. You see that they have the timers a little more pat down. They have the communication rotation a little bit more pat down. What I do want to mention, though, is you cannot disregard the ultimates coming in from JungleBookSquad, right? We have Teamy and we have Max. Those are 2 ultimates that, on their own, if placed correctly, can turn the fight. But here's another catch coming in from Team Noob. It looks like Skull King will get out just fine.
Little bit of a tanky elephant there. He's going to be able to walk away safely, as now 5 members of Team Noob are pushing themselves onto the middle lane. Heartsuck's going to use that ultimate, get a little piece of damage. Poseidon is down to 50% HP. Skull King He's going to catch out Superman. Here comes the Max as well. They're going to get themselves a nice little stun, but it doesn't matter because Superman is what Superman does and walks away safely.
Yeah, walks, runs, and then flies away, no problem. And Team Noob, whenever they're pushing these towers, they're also playing it quite accurately in how they want to play their composition, right? They've got all these warriors, they've got these durable kind of bruisers that will sit on top of people or also shut off the ganks that could come in from the side. And they just let the minions go in, get a couple hits on the tower, back off. They're in no rush. They know that if they go late and they get that initiate in the first fight late game, then they're going to be able to win, take a huge advantage, and at that point, it's all about snowballing the game.
Both of these teams are actually playing this mid-game very patient. Obviously, you had a lot of random aggression in the earlier stages, but Hardstuck is going to go down super quickly. That's the power of the pitch. Vex, Roam, the captain and the jungler doing their best. Mowgli is going to catch himself very low. Might have to end up using that ultimate. No, he's going to end up just using the heal to get away. Skull King will find himself at about 10% HP, as now Oxy is the next one, being able to pick up that kill on Vex, but it doesn't matter because he's going to go down as well.
Yeah, the kill trades, you know, my gut wants to say that this is all still going in favor of Team Noob. Again, they're all heroes that can kind of do one-man shows, maybe except for Lumbar, but Lumbar's really just there to help the team fight and maintain that control with all of that crowd control. And look at this, Team Noob, understanding that they have this advantage and they can go for the Darkslayer.
Yep, Hardstuck was dead. He has just now respawned, but without the Punisher available for the enemy team, it's going to just be a super easy Darkslayer for them. They're going to secure themselves a little bit of extra pushing power. You can see half HP on that tier 1 tower on the top side. Superman and Lumbar are going to float towards that top side to potentially get themselves down. And this is where the scaling of Team Noob really starts to take effect.
Yeah, and with this Darkslayer buff coming in for Team Noob, now being a bro isn't going to matter as much on the side of JungleBookSquad. The burst is going to catch you off guard, or if you get it, they're just going to burst you down once again. So I would say JungleBookSquad needs to watch out. Team getting cut out, they're jumping back in.
Yep, you're going to have an ultimate being forced out of Lumbar there. 09's going to have to get himself to walk away, but again, you know, it's only on a 35 second cooldown, so it'll be up again pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's the beauty about Arena of Valor, is that you want to commit every time you have a chance, right? You want to go and you want to fight hard, because again, you're going to be able to reset pretty quickly and come back for another team fight. The game moves pretty quickly, so you can't always just be saving for that single team fight. It's going to be several that gets you to that victory.
I like this split push opportunity that Seven was pulling from the bottom side. Vex is going to take a little bit of damage from that tower, but they want to open up the gates. You've got about half HP left on that high ground turret for the bot side here. Lots of damage coming out of Poseidon. The onslaught continued as Mowgli will fall without any worry. You've got Seven lurking on the outside, but it's going to be Vex picking up another kill on Madeline, and now the dissection from Team Noob has begun.
Superman just flying around in the enemy base for a little bit, but we saw it there, exactly what we talked about. Mowgli trying to survive and get a little bit of a X factor in that team fight with the ultimate, but being a bro didn't really have an impact. Team Noob just stayed in the fight and finished it. They're still pushing this bottom tower.
Oxy going to take down 9. In the process, they want to try to get that high ground turret. That's all they want. That's all they want to have, is to create that extra piece of pressure. But they're going to lose a couple members in the process. 4,000 gold, rather, in favor of Team Noob at just the 13-minute mark.
Yeah, you know, we talked about Vex at the start of the game and just what a great player Vex is overall. And I think we're starting to see that here as well. Really waiting for the opportune moments to take advantage of what his hero has to offer. Jumping in, dishing out damage, jumping out. And just repeating that, not staying in the center of the fight the whole time. We see him 6-2 and 6, and he's continuing to build up.
So now a little bit of a reset coming out of Team Noob. They've got a very low, less than 10% HP tower on the bottom side to potentially summon those super minions and allow their pushing prowess to continue. You've got a Bizzle Dragon that's up as well on the bottom side, but I like this effort by Team Noob because at this point, it's just starve out the enemy. Continue to build your lead and allow JungleBook to not get any resources to help build themselves up.
Yeah, you know, if you have to wait, you just wait for the next Darkslayer, and then Team Noob is going to be happy, right? You have that bottom lane already pushed out the tower so low, that's just up for the taking, and they just keep poking at these other towers. They have some decent escape, they have some crowd control, so that if they get in trouble like this, we saw it earlier again, Lumber, 9 playing Lumber, not afraid to use that ultimate to escape, and now they're just split pushing back and forth and using kind of guerrilla warfare tactics to actually get that middle tower.
And now with the high ground turret, the super minions are going to be spawned, but the fight has continued. Vex is going to be able to come bouncing in on damage, and this is the Poseidon, the Liliana. We know why she's been banned as much as she has with the power that she creates. The double kill is going to be able to come out for Seven and his Superman. 2 high ground turrets are down and out. 4 of the 5 members are dead for JungleBookSquad. Skull King left alive, going to have to defend that core.
Yeah, we'll see if he has what it takes. I mean, they're not too healthy on the side of Team Noob. We have that crowd control immunity coming through from Skull King. Just wants to extend this. Even if he doesn't win the fight, does go down. There's still 20 seconds left on the clock. I think this is going to write the end.
Yeah, the
for
death timers
JungleBookSquad.
are too loud, and 3 of the 5 members are left alive on Team Noob, but they don't have, actually, they do have minions. There is 1 row of minions coming in, and Vex, the powerful jungler that we have seen shine in week number 1, has already done the same in week number 2, game 1, going to Team Noob.
Yeah, and I think we saw our concern right at the end there in that final fight going into JungleBookSquad's base. It didn't really work out. They took down Superman and Liliana, but it wasn't strong enough. But look at this early game. It worked out really well for them. Mowgli really roaming just hard and fast around the entire map, trying to get those kills, and they were up. But as soon as we hit that mid game, we started talking about, is this going to be a concern? We saw it, right? Max not able to utilize his entire skill set.
And this is where you see the big difference coming in between these top echelon teams and some of these newer teams is it was the regroup mechanic is what I like to call it, coming out of Team Noob. They understood, okay, we're behind. There's a little bit of a snowball going. Let's patch up these wounds. Let's reset. Let's get ourselves in a better position mentally. And they were able to do that, turn things around, and then really start to destroy JungleBookSquad.
Yeah, you know, coming into that mid-game, I think the other important part is they started to hit a bit of a power spike. They got a little aggressive, and then you saw them thinking, okay, hold on. We're now in that mid-game, like straight up in the core of the mid-game once again, where we got to watch out for that teaming. We got to watch out for that Max. So they started staying as a group. They started roaming. If they had a pick, they got it. But if not, they were content just pushing up until they could take a bigger objective like the Darkslayer.
And you have to think about it as well, the split pushing opportunity. Obviously, Seven in that Superman, not only is he able to be very mobile and get from lane to lane, but they stuck him in the top lane, kept him in a good situation, had more of a 1-2-2, so, you know, they're using the buddy system to kind of help yourselves out, but that created a little bit too much pressure, and
wow.
It was a lot.
Yeah, and Poseidon dishing out that damage. Sure got killed in that final fight, but it didn't matter because the damage was already all out. Did what Liliana had to do. And then, you know, even if you die, if 4 other members on the enemy team are dead, that's a worthy trade, 1 for 4.
And you also have to think about the lack of presence that Max had.
Absolutely.
With the Superman on the side lane, you're not going to be able to win that duel as a Max. So they kept trying to throw him in the opposite lane. Team Noob countered that by using the buddy system, going to 2v1. Max can't win against Superman. Max can't win against 2 people. So it essentially eliminated that global ultimate that he had, thus negating the entire reason for picking that hero.
Yeah, and you look at that dynamic again, and it's something to consider. Once again, it's a concern where Superman has so much mobility as well. So you could say one or the other counters in the mid-game in terms of team composition and communication. But if Superman's there first and initiates and dishes out all that damage, Max getting there, you know, a second or 2 later isn't going to matter much. And I do like that, right? Max was smart about not jumping in late, but that meant no opportunity to jump in at all.
It is. Well, we're going to go ahead and get ourselves started with game number 2 of this. Obviously, you're going to have Team Noob on the red side, JungleBookSquad on the blue. What changes in the ban phase here coming out of JungleBookSquad?
Well, listen, JungleBookSquad's on the blue side. If they can play Superman, which they should be able to, just given how important he is in the game right now, they should try leaving it open. See if Team Noob's feeling a little arrogant to say, oh, you know, we won with Superman, but we'll show you.
You gave it to us, so we'll give it to you. Right. Kind of like a respect
Listen,
call,
sometimes
right?
teams are confident enough to just say, we think we can beat you. We're going to teach you a little lesson. We'll see if that's how it comes through. We do see JungleBookSquad sticking with that Malik, which I think is a worthy choice for that first ban.
It's definitely a respect ban over the pitch and the power that he can create. And there's also the worry, the Malik Lombard combo, especially when you have the counter pick on red side, is super strong.
Yeah, and you got to remember that too, right? For the draft, the way the snake draft works, 1 and then 2 heroes right off the bat for the red team, you want to keep that in mind because you can maybe give someone like Superman away to the enemy team on blue side and say, but we know exactly the 2 heroes that shuts down not only Superman, but maybe 3 or 4 heroes on your side.
You've got the Violet and the Zenial, same bans coming out of Team
new.
Noob. L'Oreal as well, and the power that she has. But this is where things could potentially get interesting. No, it's a Nacroth ban.
They're sticking with it.
They are. Now, is it going to be a Wonder Woman ban coming out of Team Noob? I wouldn't expect it to be. Maybe a Superman if you're feeling frisky, but nope, they just decided to ban away the Max. Interesting.
Yeah, that's no presence in game 1.
No.
Not a concern. I'm a little surprised.
I think so. I'm definitely surprised. I don't know if it was just there's enough power picks open that we don't want to give you those power picks and a Max. Because with Wonder Woman not gone off, that's going to say, okay, you're either going to pick Superman or you're going to pick Wonder Woman. Whichever one you don't pick, we're going to pick on that red side.
Yeah.
They've got, so that would, assuming Superman's the first pick, then it flows over to Wonder Woman and then Liliana, and they probably don't want the double split push power of the Superman Max. So, I mean, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's reason for it for sure. It's just a little surprising, but maybe the good news is they are playing it cautious, right? A little bit of a bigger X factor, because Superman, Wonder Woman, those are heroes that you just have to watch out for that single player, right? You have to keep them in check. You have to make sure you know where they are in the team fight, where they're coming in from, and make sure you're spreading out to keep that vision available. With Max, you don't have that luxury, so maybe they're just playing it safer. The bigger question is here, can JungleBookSquad confidently pick up that Superman and say, we're going to win with this, or are they feeling a little frisky?
I think it has to, obviously we saw their early game has strength. They showed some signs of patience in the mid game, but the real question is, what happens if they play even with Team Noob? Because Team Noob, once they kind of had that soft reset mentally, they started to take over, and it was nothing but proactive. Every step they made was with a purpose, and that's where JungleBookSquad really started to fall apart.
Yeah, and that's something we see commonly with a lot of newer teams and team games, right? They know how to take the advantage early. They don't know how to keep it up and close out the game. We are going into the picks. We're about to find out Lindis. Ooh. Okay, Lindis was left open. I mean, there's so many power picks, especially in Europe with a couple more heroes available.
Do you lock in the Superman Wonder Woman? No, obviously. Okay, no,
yeah,
that's saying right now. You take Liliana.
So good on
but you get Superman Liliana again. You get the combo.
Honestly, Team Noob, probably not too concerned. They can go with the same composition and see how it plays out. They have a game win under their belt. They don't. Oh, they are going to go for the Wonder Woman, though.
I think it's too good of a combination to pass up.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about the Liliana because they've already locked in Lindis as their mid mage. So you can hold on to that pick, get yourself some side laners. But just as I say that, they might want to just double it up.
And, well, it might be Lindis going through the jungle and also just providing a little bit of vision right throughout the whole map, which. That will help. Again, that's a pretty early game focus for JungleBookSquad, though. So we'll see how it pans out. Of course, the damage continues to ramp up.
Yes.
But we've seen in game one, at the very least, I know the sample size is small, but they're not quite good at that. The Crush coming in, pretty good, right?
I like the
Crush.
Crush.
Control.
I like the Crush a lot. Help peel for the back line. You've got that beefy shield that you get with that ultimate, kind of stop the damage coming out and the dive coming from the Superman and the Wonder Woman. But now Tulin and Ryoma. We didn't really talk about the Ryoma too much in the last game, but it still definitely held its own.
Yeah, I mean, Ryoma, I think, just simply did his job. There wasn't anything too special, but did his job, got some poke in, obviously has some crowd control, and has a lot of kind of diving back and forth, where Ryoma was actually able to split push on his own. Omen comes in, and Lumber also stolen away. I like the Lumber pickup from JungleBookSquad as well. It works for them and keeps it away from Team Noob.
I also like the Omen pick because Omen has that dueling power against Superman in the late game. So if the game gets drawn out the way that it did a little bit in that last game, he has the opportunity to go toe-to-toe with Superman, especially considering the strength and the dueling that he has available. And then the teamy pick now on the side of Team Noob.
Yeah, which we'll see how that plays out. But being a bro on top of Superman or Wonder Woman is gonna be a little scary because you're gonna focus all your efforts in taking out one of them to ease up the fight for yourself, and then they're gonna come back. And even if they're not able to stay alive for a lot longer to do damage, again, their crowd control affects their mobility and their durability initially. It's gonna throw you off for a loop. So Team Noob, if they're on point with the timing for being a bro on Teamy, that's gonna spell trouble. And also, just simply a replacement for Liliana with Tulin. Slightly different playstyle, but still just consistent burst, poke, and then jumping in and out.
There's a lot on the line here for JungleBook. Obviously, they're backed up against the wall. If they lose this, they find themselves in the relegation matches on Saturday. But all in all, this is still a great test to really see what you have. Like, again, coming out of the open qualifiers and facing a juggernaut such as Team Noob really gives you that level of experience. And with 6 weeks total of play, you know, you've got that opportunity to get a little bit more of these games under your belt and work through that draft phase a little better.
Yeah, listen, if you come in any of these weeks, right, and you go against seed number 1 of the previous week and you win, that's a miracle. It's not an expectation, right? You shouldn't come in and say, our goal is to take number 1 seed right away. You should be happy with kind of how the game plays out and then try to climb back in the next weeks.
Well, don't forget, guys, we want to know what you guys are thinking at home about everything Valor Series. Head on over to the Twitterverse and use that hashtag Valor Series to let us know your predictions on this game as well as the rest of the broadcast. But game number 2 of our first quarterfinal has begun. It's going to be Team Noob up 1-0 over JungleBookSquad.
Yeah, and we just see some positioning and kind of going back and forth, getting some vision in each other's jungle before they start the game, but no hard commits this time from either team. They just want to scout it out, and they're playing it a little safer. We do see a room going up in top that Omen and Superman starting to match up right away from the get-go.
You can see Teamy coming onto that top side as well. Hardstuck's going to take himself a little bit of damage. Going to be taken to about 33% HP, but he's going to get himself a nice little reset. And I like this roam that they have coming out of the Teamy as well. You know, trying to see if they can show, but oh no, it looks like we're actually going to see a tower dive. Level number 1. Hardstuck's going to get a nice flicker to get himself alive. As they're juggling themselves the damage, flying mode going to do all the work. Juggling of the tower, very smart dive there by Team Noob.
Yeah, we got 9 kind of making sure, keeping the tower damage so that Superman can come in and get one burst down to finish off the kill. I think that's a worthy commitment, and now with that news up top, Team Noob going strong for the bottom side of the map as well.
So now you've got yourself a nice little scuffle. Again, it's Team Noob with the proactivity. They are not going to let themselves fall prey to what they did in the early game in Game 1. And this is where you really get to see the test of these great teams. Can they take themselves a win and improve and adapt even though they got that W?
Yeah, I think that commitment, obviously Teamy joined a little late, but they still had enough crowd control and damage to go through and get a second kill. And Team Noob, I mean, they're exactly where they want to be, right? They have the Superman Wonder Woman combo. They have 2 heroes who just continue to scale throughout the game and can hold their own against 2, maybe even 3 people, depending on the matchup. Right now, JungleBookSquad does have to reset a little bit, but they're getting caught out once again.
Oxy's going to get himself caught out in the jungle a little bit too much. Vec's going to pick up that kill, say thank you, that's going to be mine. Some extra pockets into the hands of that Ryoma. And so now all of that valiant effort that JungleBookSquad had in the early game in Game 1 has essentially been nullified here in Game 2.
And here's the concern, right? Lindis, one of the biggest striving points about Lindis, especially in the early game, and sometimes even in late, of course, is the vision. But getting caught out on your own through that early game and now giving up some of your rust, giving up some of your monsters in the jungle, is going to be a tough break. And geez, Team Noob just staying in the enemy jungle. They want to solidify this lead they have for Superman and eventually everybody else.
He's even going with the proxy farming to make sure that Hardstuck really has no opportunity, and Hardstuck will try to get himself a little bit of a dodge, but it's not going to be enough as the power of the Superman. You go here. No, you're going to go here. No, you're going to go there. No. All right, you don't really have an effort. We're just going to, you know, continue to bop you, try to get yourself a kill. As Teamy's going to get himself a damage. He doesn't have that ultimate, and there we go. Hardstuck with the recoil. Going to get himself a kill and finally get themselves on the board. But meanwhile, Poseidon, Tulin, he's just going to grab that Abyssal Dragon on the bot side.
Yeah, we're already at the 3-minute mark, kind of both teams, I think, forgetting about the Abyssal Dragon briefly just to make sure, obviously, on Team Noob to maintain the lead they had on the top side. Got a little greedy. You could definitely hear Hardstuck kind of screaming and saying, that's what you get for diving me and being greedy at the top.
I like this effort here by JungleBookSquad. They're going to try to get themselves a little bit of a recoil and help themselves try to get a kill. You've got the shield coming out from Pitch. He's going to flicker away. Here comes the dive. Is it going to force out the ultimate from Madeline? No, it's not. She's going to go down, but now you've got Poseidon on the flurry. They're going to pick up that kill is now.
JungleBookSquad should be able to run away here. Yeah, they're using the bush to their advantage really well. Really good micro in that team fight coming in, taking care of that vision in and out of the team fight to make sure that, especially with Mowgli getting his abilities back, to crowd control throughout the rest of the fight.
And so now we're just at over 4 minutes into the game. Superman's going to roam onto the bottom side. He's going to use that tower to his advantage and pick up that kill onto Mowgli. And this is the strength that we were talking about early.
Yeah, oh, that's a double. The double hurts a little bit. If it was just a Lumber and Liliana was able to get away, I mean, Skull King would have survived, and it wouldn't have felt too bad. You would have still learned a lesson on being like, yeah, we were probably greedy. We should have known that Superman was gone from the map.
Not very many people could take a laser beam to the face, though.
That's true. You can't blame him once he starts flying in. And once you see Superman and you're not at full health and you don't have every resource available to you, you're probably a goner, and at that point, it's no longer your fault.
And poor Hardstuck is going to be hard-stucked again in the top lane as another dive comes through. He has been finding himself in every difficult position, has died twice in a tower dive. The first turret on the top side of the map is going to go down. Team Noob is going to get themselves walked away fully in control of this game at just after the 5-minute mark.
Listen, if we see JungleBookSquad coming back the next week because they get to retain their spot or they fight through the qualifier again, I think Hardstuck needs a name change to Flying Free. It's just, you know, he's playing to the name. He's got to be able to get a little more room for himself. But honestly, part of that is the rest of the team. And at that point, part of it is Superman and Wonder Woman. They can roam around so quickly everywhere that even if your teammates are doing something for you, Superman can just climb back, win the fight, then get back to the lane, and you don't have much space.
I also think JungleBookSquad was put in a very disadvantageous position, explicitly because when they realized that Liliana and Superman and Wonder Woman were all left open, I feel like they had to take that pick on that second rotation blue side, because if they didn't, bad things were going to happen, which is exactly what you're seeing here, as now you've got the Crush coming in to try to get themselves a little bit of ever, but Poseidon is going to destroy Skull King. You're going to have Superman trying to get himself to walk away. Hardstuck might be able to pick up that kill. Mowgli, meanwhile, actually, no, that's going to be Lumbar picking that up. And a little bit of a rebuttal here coming out of JungleBookSquad, but Poseidon, that is the strength of that tool that we have seen time and time again.
Poseidon, you can't ignore. Poseidon is what we're learning time and you know what? If we go back to week 1, we're starting to learn you just can't ignore anybody on the side of Team Noob, which is a tough spot to be in. The thing here is you saw Being a Bro really play its part. Teamy came in and saved Superman for a quick res back up. Teamy eventually went down, and Superman sure eventually died as well, but came in, did another burst before dying, which left all the attention to Superman, to Teamy, and then to Wonder Woman, and Poseidon's just blinking back and forth, putting out a lot of burst damage out.
And to your point earlier of anyone can step up at any given time, we've talked about Pitch, we've talked about Vex, but Poseidon is 7-1-1, a stat line you can't ignore. Yeah,
I mean, obviously killed the game with Liliana in game number 1, put up so much damage ahead of the team. I believe it was like 38% of team damage compared to the next highest, which is maybe like 17. And this time, I wouldn't be surprised to see the same stats once again.
As now we're at the 7-minute mark, we're going to find ourselves another little piece of a scuffle. Hardstuck is going to be so low. Poseidon deleting him from the map faster than he can even think about running away. Another defense turret has been taken down, and here is Team Noob on the onslaught.
Let's see if they play it kind of safe and smart once again. No, but they have Superman and Woman and Teamy. They're going to go for the dive because they know they can extend the fight and survive.
Madline and Oxy are going to try to get themselves join the fray. Ultimate coming out of Crush to try to provide himself a little bit, but Superman picks up the kill on Liliana. She's going to go down immediately. There's going to be flickers over the wall. Vex ends up going Ultimate 3-0-4, as now it's just a little bit of a cleanup for the members of Team Noob. You're going to have Hardstuck try to get himself a little bit of a kill, but it doesn't matter because Team Noob is definitely going against the grain, showing the expert style as they're going to take themselves their first high ground turret in the mid lane.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go for the top one, clean that up quickly as well. And then are they going to continue just staying? This seems a little greedy. Yeah, there we go. I was going to say, I mean, we saw everyone coming back onto the side of JungleBookSquad. But once again, Being a Bro doing its part, right? Keeping that Teamy alive again just to keep a little bit more distraction, a little bit more crowd control. And this time, therefore, Superman was left alone. And Superman's doing a ton of damage, which then means that JungleBookSquad's distracted once again for Poseidon to be jumping back and forth. Now 8-1-4. And Ryoma, again, just being steady. Vex holding the ground, 3-on-5, clearly just playing the part that he needs to, not overextending.
Superman going to get himself at the very front, but he's way too tanky. He does not care, and the rest of his team has come to follow as they're going to be forced to retreat. 2 high ground turrets. Super minions are going to be knocking out the doors of the core very early, but it looks like the members of Team Noob want to get themselves some poke off and potentially finish this game before it even gets to that point. You're going to have 9 coming himself a little bit low. It does have that Be a Bro available, but he's just going to get himself healed up. Darkslayer is on the menu, but it doesn't look like Team Noob even cares. They are in such an advantageous position that they can essentially prance around the map wherever they so choose. JungleBookSquad unable to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, Superman, like you said, so tanky. Has that Crimson Banner and Gaia's standard already on top of being a bro coming in from Teamy, if need be, right? And that's a big if, because so far, after that initial fight in the river, it doesn't look like Superman's going to need any more help from Teamy to survive in the fight. And they're so safe to just go for the Darkslayer.
And as I said, they don't care about the Darkslayer. It obviously helps, you know, a little bit of extra buffs to help with that pushing power, as they're going to secure themselves super easily. JungleBookSquad going to have to be forced to defend and clear in their base. And these, again, you have to draw it back to the draft phase. JungleBookSquad put in an unfortunate situation, being forced to draw out that Liliana, and then just the reactive play in the jungle on the first sets. You're going to have the Justice League going to try to take themselves on, but Ryoma, 9, and Poseidon are going to join the fray to try to help out their fallen comrade. Madeline going to be forced to ultimate. Mowgli unable to do anything as well. Skull King be forced to jump away as the super minions are coming in and across. They look like they try to want to get the kills. Onslaught by Vex. Poseidon's going to be able to pick up that kill as well. It doesn't matter because Team Noob has been absolutely dominating over this JungleBook squad. What little falls they seemed to had in game 1 were fixed very quickly. Just over the 10-minute mark, they're going to secure themselves the game, the set, and the match.
Yeah, and in that last fight going into the base, I mean, definitely Seven got a little too excited with Superman, got that male pain as well, thought that he could extend the fight a little early. Was a little too early out of his team, but then we saw how ahead they were. They got ahead no matter what, and they still won the fight. And we see this here early on. We see Team Noob just pressuring that top lane. Omen couldn't do anything.
It was all about those early game rotations. We talked about them faltering a little bit about that, and JungleBookSquad using that as an advantage potentially for game number 1 into game number 2, but it was a great adaptation.